So we've got to do this, not this if we want consistency. Then we want a bit of this, not this for accuracy. And then a good amount of this if we want power, not lock down this. If you're swinging out of your boots with your driver and getting nothing out of it, and the driver's the one club you pick out of your golf bag, you just dread hitting it, it's often because of these common mistakes. Most golfers struggle with consistency of strike, accuracy, trying to hit fairway as well as distance, and it's because of these common mistakes that I see day in, day out from many of my online students. And I'm going to show you how I fix these students to improve their consistency with driver, their accuracy, and as well a bonus effect of that is extra distance. And the glue that sticks all these tips together often really surprises golfers, but when I show them that final part that just makes it all stick together, they are often blown away at how simple it is and why they have not done these fixes for years. Stop slicing your drives, stop hitting inconsistent drives, stop hitting weak drives. Let's fix that right now. So number one issue I see with golfers is shaft lean with the driver. So how do you set up to that club? Should the club be back here? Should it be leaning forward? Well, the actual position you want that driver to sit, so the shaft coming out of the head, how it should lean into your hands, is you want it coming straight out from the face. So it's basically a straight line. This is going to encourage a good hold. It also leads us on to the second point, which is the ball position that links to this. It leads to good ball positions. And where you place the ball in your stance, too far back will make the club path change, maybe lots from the inside. Most common one, ball long way forward, makes people hit a lot more from the outside. The ball position that you use will sync with this shaft. So if you're someone who sets the grip up in the air here, make sure it's coming out straight. If you're someone who does it all seamlessly as you move the club in, make sure the grip end is lined up with the top end, that leading edge as it falls down to your face of that driver. Now the reason this is so important is because people who tend to have the shaft leaning way back tend to also get the ball way forward. These are golfers who are struggling with those shots off to the right, heavy spin shots. So what they're actually doing is they're kind of moving back to try and straighten that ball out. And this club isn't an iron. This isn't a club which we set forwards. We're setting it neutral because I've got a 9-degree driver on my club and I've actually got it lofted down slightly. So I'm near at 8. Well, listen to or I'll show you the loft I present at impact. So my loft presented on that last shot was 17 degrees. I added loft to that club. The club is flicking forwards down at the bottom. I want the club to overtake my hands. This is great for the club face release. We don't want to be holding on to angles, and we certainly don't want to be de-lofting a driver. So having that set up with the handle straight is going to help you get great deliveries for that consistency through delivered loft. Now, let's work the ball position into this. I want you to make sure that the ball position with your driver works within a playing field of a head's width. So I want it anywhere between the middle of your left foot to about a ball's width inside of this heel. Standard place for most golfers to start is get it on that lead heel. Now, if you see golfers with it slightly further forward, slightly further back, that's because they're just matching it up to how they grip and other movements. Your ball position doesn't have to be on the left heel, but it's a good place to start. So just inside of that left heel. If you find your straighter shots come from you having it just that little bit further forward, remember you've got this club head width to play with. You can hit the driver anywhere within that position, then do so. If you're someone who's finding you're having to get it right out here, have any chance of finding target, shaft lean's messed up, now in turn grip's messed up, now in turn delivered loft, and club path is messed up, finding those consistent drives just isn't going to work. Now this next tip is something I see golfers get continuously wrong. It's over 90% of my students who send swings get this wrong. And it's foot flare. So where your feet should be pointing at address with the driver. And the goal, what you're after is the good benchmark to start. You want your lead foot around 15 degrees turned out. So not straight on, turned out towards target. You want trail foot around 5 degrees turned out, not straight on, not as much turned out as the lead foot. This is the most common. I actually see this even overturned to this one as people try to open the door to turning on the way back. So foot flare is so important, and it's the beginning of the glue for the power part of this whole lesson, which we're going to come to as the video goes on. If your foot flare, shaft lean and ball position is not in place, the last drill just doesn't work. So the reason we have 15 degrees of turn of that lead foot is a few things. One is it exposes that heel, making ball position a little bit more easy to find. So if you imagine if I was someone who turned my foot out loads, but then felt like I wanted my ball, say, off this part of my foot, that's put me way behind the ball. If I'm somebody who doesn't turn the foot out very much, these ball position chats of a club head's width just don't make any sense, because your big toe is in line with the middle of your foot, which is in line with the heel. Now, on the backswing, we are going to turn into this trail side, into this right side, but we're going to have a little bit of resistance. That's where that little bit of turn out with that foot helps with some rotation, but also it helps with a bit of grab in the backswing. The lead foot turned out is only going to help you move on to the lead foot, so get your pressures across, and at the same time try and then turn out and get round, which is where the power element really kicks in. For me to do my powerful swings, or me trying to hit the ball further from here, would just make no sense. This knee is going to scream at me. For many golfers, they ignore this because it's boring and they don't see how it makes much of a difference, but it's these kind of building blocks that allow you to gain that consistency of strike, that consistency of distance, and allow you to start picking up some serious speed. Because this is the bit that shocks most golfers when I tell them. This is the bit that glues the good shaft lean, the foot flare, the ball position all together. When good players are swinging, in their backswing, their left heel moves towards target. So if my left foot is 15 degrees turned out at the top of the backswing, when we look at good golfers, they can come down to as small as 5 degrees turned out with this foot. They're basically turning this foot in on the ground as the heel goes out. Equally, in the trail foot, what we see is a little bit of movement as well, where the heel almost starts to come in towards the target as they really try to turn in against this foot. And that foot then grabs, which is what stops all the kicking out and swaying. So we need you to actually start hitting shots where you move your feet. And this is the one. This one blows people's heads off. They think you're not allowed to hit the ball like this. But you totally are. You've got to use my overturn drill. So this is my over twist. And the idea of this drill is to get comfortable with loads of movement in your feet. Too much movement in your feet. Then when it comes to game day and you want that real consistency with the power, you just dial it back. Rather than dialing people up to their most highest performing kind of abilities, what I like to do with some drills is overdo them so they actually dial them back for game day. So the game, get your driver, good shaft lean, good foot flare, and I want you to turn both of your feet as much as you can towards the target in the backswing, and then let them go even more towards the target with the toes on the downswing. Looking something like this. So don't worry if you miss shots. So I've mishit that one. See, it's not a very good strike. It's going to feel really strange. It's going to feel scary. It's going to feel like you've got no control. You're going to really turn this lead heel out. You're going to feel like this heel wants to go in. And then on the downswing, you're going to reverse it, turn this one out. And then as you come through, that heel's going to come up. This toe's going to come up onto its toe. You're basically really going to offend the ground with your feet as much as you can. And what you'll be surprised, it doesn't take many shots to start hitting faster and quite consistently. Now here's the rub. You're wanting to find target. You're going to go and play. You can't play with crazy moves like that. So now you're going to hit a few shots, applying the same idea with shaft lean, same idea with foot flare, getting your ball position set for your personal position between that middle of your foot to just inside that heel. Now you're going to move your feet in the ground, but in a much more controlled way. Just little movements, but still feel them really screwing into the ground and then pushing out. Now we've got the benefits of accuracy, distance, as well as consistency. Now, if you're doing this drill and you find that you're still a little bit wild with direction, let's say you're still hitting shots and you find the face is just being left behind, but you think shaft lean's good, Foot flare's good. I'm using the ground. I'm twisting my feet. I'm trying to generate a little bit more movement through my ankles with those twists. Why is it still doing that? Often that's to do with the relationship between your hands and the club face, so your golf grip. But everyone doesn't grip it the same way. We all need to find our own personal grip. What amount of twist works in what way for you? Not everyone is going to hold it exactly the same, which is why I made this video here that's going to show you how to find your hold to make sure you've got control of the club face, to make sure all this comes together for the most distance and accuracy.